The galaxy had grown large and complicated, filled with countless stars, planets, and civilizations. Some species were old and proud, while others were new and ambitious. Yet no matter how advanced they became, there were always stories of things beyond reach, legends that inspired awe or fear. Among all these tales, one stood out: the story of humans. Most beings dismissed it as a myth. Humans, it was said, had once roamed the stars, but had vanished long ago. They were described as clever, strong, and unpredictable, able to survive situations that would destroy other species. Some told tales of humans fighting impossible odds and winning. Others spoke of humans building machines and weapons far beyond what anyone else could create, but no proof existed. No ship, no artifact, no living human had been seen in centuries. For most, they were simply a story told to younglings to teach courage and resilience. Kale, a young alien historian from the planet Varela, had spent his life listening to these stories. Unlike most of his peers, he did not dismiss them as myths. He spent long hours in dusty libraries, reading fragmented records, old transmissions, and relics left behind by civilizations that claimed to have met humans. Every clue, every message, seemed to hint that humans might still exist. That thought filled him with both excitement and fear. Kale's laboratory sat high above Varela's sprawling capital city. From his observation deck, he could see the neon glow of the metropolis, the hovercraft zipping through the air, and the distant outline of the council tower. He often wondered if any humans had ever stood in a city like this, watching the sky with the same curiosity he felt now. "Kale, you're wasting your time," said his assistant, Rilla, a blue-scaled virulin. She had grown used to his obsession. "The council has no interest in old myths. They'll never believe you." Kale shook his head, adjusting the display panel before him. Streams of energy readings, star charts, and encrypted messages filled the holographic screen. "It's not a myth, Rilla. Look at these readings. These signals are consistent. They show movement, energy patterns, life. Someone is out there, and it matches the old human technology." Rilla studied the data, but remained skeptical. "Even if it is true, what do we do?" "The council will call it coincidence or interference. You can't just declare that humans exist without proof." Kale leaned back, staring at the stars outside. "Maybe proof is not what we need. Maybe we need courage. Humans, if they exist, have been surviving in the shadows for centuries. Maybe they are waiting for the right time." Meanwhile, far beyond the reaches of the Virulon system, humans were moving quietly. Their ships were sleek, compact, and faster than most species had ever seen. They traveled in small groups, avoiding detection, scanning the stars for signs of trouble. They had no interest in conquest. Humans valued knowledge, survival, and adaptability. Captain Elias, a human commander, stood on the bridge of the starship Resolute. The ship was small by galactic standards, but it was efficient. Every crew member knew their role, and every system was optimized for survival, Captain said. Lieutenant Mara, the ship's navigator, pointing to the display. "We've detected an energy fluctuation in the Virulon sector. It's weak, but it's unusual." Elias nodded, his expression calm. "Keep scanning. We don't want to reveal ourselves yet. See if it's something we should observe." The human crew had been monitoring distant civilizations for years. Watching conflicts, natural disasters, and political shifts, they rarely interfered. Humans had learned long ago that patience and observation were as powerful as weapons. Back on Varela, Kale continued his research. He traced one particular transmission, a series of pulses and bursts that seemed to come from deep space, beyond known star systems. It was different from anything he had seen before. The energy. Signatures suggested movement, coordination, and intelligence. "These readings are from somewhere uncharted," Kale said to Rilla, "and they are consistent with old records of human ships. Look at the pattern. It's precise, organized. Whoever's out there knows what they are doing." Rilla frowned. "Even if that's true, Kale, going after it could be dangerous. What if they are hostile? What if the council finds out you're tracking this without permission?" Kale's eyes shone with determination. "We cannot wait for the council's permission. Humans might be the key to understanding what comes next in the galaxy." They exist. We need to know them before someone else does. Days turned into nights, though for Kale, the distinction was meaningless. He barely slept, consumed by calculations and star charts. Each new piece of data strengthened his belief that humans were real and still exploring the stars. He mapped possible locations, plotted trajectories, and calculated the likelihood of human survival in hidden worlds. The rumors among the alien civilizations, meanwhile, were growing louder. Merchants spoke of unusual energy readings in uncharted space. Scholars whispered about strange artifacts found on abandoned planets, artifacts that no known species could have built. The council began to hear murmurs about a living legend, and curiosity spread. Some dismissed it. Others, more cautious, began to wonder if there was truth in the stories. One evening, Kale received a transmission unlike any before. It was not encoded, and it carried no known signature. It simply displayed a series of symbols, almost like a greeting. Kale's heart raced. Could this be a message from humans themselves? He studied it carefully, analyzing patterns, frequency, and timing. Rila watched silently, sensing the tension. "Kale, what is it?" Kale whispered, almost to himself. "It's contact." Real contact? They exist. At the same time, on the Resolute, Captain Elias watched the stars. Their sensors had picked up energy readings from Varela's sector signals from curious aliens trying to reach the truth about the humans. "We have visitors," Elias said quietly. "They don't know who we are yet, but they're coming closer." Lieutenant Mara raised an eyebrow. "Do we make contact?" Elias shook his head. "Not yet. Let them observe. Let them learn. Humans always make their entrance in the right moment. Patience is our advantage." Kale, unaware of the humans nearby, prepared to present his findings to the council. He knew it would be difficult. Many in the council believed humans were extinct, or merely a story. He would need undeniable evidence, something that could not be ignored. Yet, for the first time in years, Kale felt hope. "The humans are out there," he said, looking at the stars. "And soon the galaxy will have to face the truth." As the council debated myths and legends, the real humans sailed quietly among the stars, watching, learning, and waiting. They were patient, clever, and strong. They did not seek glory or conquest. They sought survival, understanding, and the right moment to reveal themselves. And the moment was approaching. The whispers of a legend were about to become a reality. The story that had seemed impossible, a tale told to younglings, would soon walk among the stars once again. And when it did, the galaxy would never be the same. Kale stared at the readings one last time before heading to the council chambers. His heart pounded with anticipation. If he was right, the humans were no longer a story. They were real, and they were about to prove that legends, once forgotten, could return stronger than anyone ever imagined. Outside, stars glittered like scattered jewels. Somewhere beyond the known space, human ships moved silently, watching, waiting, preparing for the moment when the galaxy would finally meet them. Kale whispered to himself almost as a prayer, "May they be, as the stories said, and may we be ready to learn." The galaxy's silence seemed deeper that night, as if it, too, waited for the impossible to arrive. And somewhere beyond the reach of council eyes, humanity sailed, unchallenged, unseen, and unstoppable. The legend of humans was no longer a myth. It was about to become history. Kale could hardly contain his excitement as he stepped into the council chamber. The high-domed hall buzzed with debate, its walls glowing with holographic displays showing distant star systems. Representatives of dozens of civilizations argued loudly, each trying to assert their view of the galaxy. "The humans are gone," one of the elder council members declared, his voice echoing across the room. "Legends have been passed down for centuries. They do not exist. Why waste resources on a myth?" Kale's hands clenched. "They are not gone," he said, his voice clear and firm. "I have readings, signals, and patterns that prove humans are real. They are out there, beyond the borders you call known space. We cannot ignore them any longer." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some members shook their heads, dismissing him. Others whispered curiously to one another. Kale had expected skepticism. He had expected resistance. But beneath it, he sensed a spark of curiosity. Meanwhile, far beyond the virulence system, human ships were moving silently. Captain Elias watched the stars with calm eyes. The fleet was small 10 ships in total, but each was fast, well-equipped, and resilient. The humans had perfected stealth travel, ensuring that no one would detect them until they chose to reveal themselves. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara said, her voice careful, "there is activity near the Virulon sector. Small vessels. They are attempting to scan for life or technology." Elias nodded. "They are curious. Let them be. Observation is as valuable as action. They will learn in their own time." The humans did not seek conflict, but they were prepared. Sensors scanned the Virulon ships, noting design, energy output, and movement patterns. The humans were patient, waiting to understand before deciding what to do. Cale had no idea he was about to witness history. As he returned to his laboratory, analyzing the energy signals, his displays flickered with sudden activity. The readings became clearer, more precise, and impossible to ignore. "Rila," he said urgently, "look at this. The energy signature, it's real. Not only is it real, but it's moving toward us with purpose. It's intelligent." "You're saying they are coming?" Cale nodded. "Yes. We're about to meet the humans. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy will see them alive." The humans approached cautiously. Their ships moved with silent precision, scanning every signal, every motion from the Council fleets. They did not attack. They did not make loud announcements. They observed, back in the Council chamber, alarms suddenly rang. Holographic screens lit up with images of ships appearing out of uncharted space. Representatives gasped. Some recoiled in disbelief, others froze in shock. "What is that?" A representative from the Zolar sector demanded. "Those vessels? They shouldn't exist. They are human," Cale shouted, stepping forward. "I told you, they are real." The Council fell silent. The ships moved deliberately, forming patterns that were unfamiliar, yet clearly intelligent. They displayed no aggression, yet their presence alone radiated power and capability. Captain Elias watched the Council's reaction from his bridge. He spoke calmly to his crew. "They see us. Let them understand who we are without fear. Observation first, communication later." The humans extended a basic signal, a series of lights and sounds designed to indicate peaceful intent. It was universal in concept, simple enough for any intelligent species to understand. Cale analyzed it immediately. "They are trying to communicate," he exclaimed. "They're showing us they mean no harm. This is incredible." The Council hesitated. Some members wanted to attack, fearful of the unknown. Others were curious, drawn to the possibility that the stories were true. Cale stepped forward, projecting the human signal in its full form. "Look at this," he said. "This is not random. This is deliberate. They want dialogue. They want to show themselves to us, not fight." The human signal continued to grow more sophisticated. Soon, holographic images appeared, showing simple star maps and representations of human stall, upright beings, moving with purpose. The Council stared in awe. "They exist," whispered one elder. "We were wrong. Humans. They are real." Cale's heart pounded. He had spent years researching, hoping for this moment, but the reality was overwhelming. Humans were here, in their own ships, moving through the stars with speed, precision, and intelligence far beyond any other species. Suddenly, one of the Council's security forces attempted to raise weapons. They wanted to test these legendary humans by force. Cale's voice rang out, urgent and commanding. "No," he shouted. "Do not attack. They are observing, not threatening. We will learn more by patience than by fire." On the Resolute, Elias noted the movement. "They are tense," he said. "Curiosity and fear are natural. We must remain calm and wait for their response. Provoking them now would be unwise." The humans adjusted their formations slightly, ensuring they remained non-threatening, while still demonstrating capability. They used subtle maneuvers, showing power without aggression. Even the most skeptical Council members could not deny it. They were witnessing skill, intelligence, and control unlike anything seen before. Kale spoke again, addressing the council. This is proof, undeniable proof. Humans are real. They are intelligent, powerful, and capable. And yet, they are not here to conquer. They are here to observe, to understand. We have a choice. We can meet them with hostility, or we can meet them with curiosity. For the first time, silence fell across the chamber. The weight of Kale's words hung in the air. Representatives whispered among themselves, weighing fear against wonder. Outside, human ships hovered near the outer rim of the virulent system. Captain Elias made a decision. It is time, he said quietly. Initiate first contact protocols. Let them see us clearly. Let them learn who humans truly are. A human ship projected a holographic message, universal greeting and symbols, colors and sounds designed to transcend language. The display showed humans helping each other, working together, and solving complex problems. The intention was clear. Humans were capable, intelligent, and cooperative. The council gasped. Members leaned forward, captivated. Even the most hardened skeptics could not deny what they saw. The stories of humans had been true. Not only that, but the reality exceeded legend. Kale turned to Rilla, his voice shaking with excitement. Do you see it? Do you see what I told you? They are real, and they are magnificent. Ah, Rilla nodded, still in awe. I never imagined. I never believed it could be like this. Elias watched silently, studying the council's reaction. His mission was clear. Humans would not reveal themselves fully until trust was built. They had the power to dominate, but that was not their way. Humans thrived on intelligence, ingenuity, and cooperation, not conquest. The council struggled to respond. Some wanted to extend a hand in friendship. Others still whispered of fear and uncertainty. Kale knew this was only the beginning. The first contact had been made, but the real test would come in understanding. Diplomacy, and perhaps survival. Suddenly, a small human ship detached from the main formation. It moved closer to the council's orbital station, demonstrating precise control and avoiding all defense measures. The message was clear. Humans were not hiding, but neither were they aggressive. They were simply humans. Kale felt a thrill he had never known. This was history. The galaxy's greatest myth had become reality, and yet he understood that humans were not here to fight. They were here to show that intelligence, creativity, and cooperation could surpass fear, power, and weapons. The council finally began to murmur in approval. Perhaps we judged too soon, one elder admitted. Perhaps the stories were not just tales. They were warnings and lessons. Kale smiled. The humans are more than stories. They are proof that even in a galaxy of fear and power, a species can survive by intelligence, courage, and unity. We must watch, learn, and respect them. The human ships slowly began to retreat, returning to the outer rim, signaling that they would observe but not interfere yet. Kale's eyes followed them, already planning the next steps, the next reports, the next attempts to understand this remarkable species. Rilla, you said softly, this is just the beginning. The humans have arrived, and the galaxy is about to change forever. Outside, the stars seemed brighter that night. Somewhere in the darkness, humanity sailed silently, patient, clever, and unafraid. They had come not for war, but for observation. But one thing was certain, the galaxy would never see them the same way again. The legend of humans was no longer a story. It had come alive, and the first encounter had begun. The council had barely recovered from the first encounter when a new crisis erupted. A massive asteroid, larger than many moons, hurtled toward a distant alien colony in the solar system. Sensors detected its path was on a collision course with inhabited worlds. Panic spread quickly. The council scrambled to respond, yet no plan seemed fast or precise enough to prevent disaster. Kale's heart raced. He knew this was more than an opportunity, it was a test. Humans had arrived, proving their existence. But would they act? If they did, could the galaxy witness their abilities firsthand? He turned to Rilla. This is it. If humans truly exist as the legends say, this is the moment they will show their strength not through weapons but through intelligence and ingenuity. Meanwhile, deep in uncharted space, the human fleet received the alerts. Captain Elias studied the reports. The solar system is in danger, he said quietly. We must act. Lives are at stake. Lieutenant Mara nodded. Do we engage openly? Do we reveal ourselves fully? Elias shook his head. We act, but subtly. Let our actions speak louder than appearances. Do not seek recognition yet. We seek to save lives. The humans moved swiftly, small, nimble craft detached from the main fleet. They carried advanced tools capable of manipulating gravity, energy fields, and matter. Each vessel was operated by teams of humans, working together with precision that amazed even their own crews. On Virella, Kale and the Council watched as the asteroid entered Sensor's range. Its speed was terrifying. Conventional defenses would not reach it in time. Panic rose in the Council chamber. Some members shouted for immediate action. Others froze in indecision. Kale focused on the human fleet, his eyes wide with hope. Watch them, he said. This is how humans handle impossible situations. The first human craft approached the asteroid. Without firing a single weapon, it projected a field of controlled energy. The asteroid's trajectory wavered slightly, moving off its deadly path. Another craft joined, manipulating gravitational forces, carefully redirecting the massive rock. The Council gasped. How is this possible? An elder whispered. They are not using weapons. They are controlling physics. Kale smiled. This is humans at work. They rely on intelligence, teamwork, and precision. This is what made them legends. The asteroid shuddered as humans applied their methods. Slowly, it veered off course, narrowly missing the colony below. The system's inhabitants watched in disbelief as the massive threat dissolved before their eyes. No explosions. No destruction. Just calculated, clever work that saved countless lives. A representative from the solar sector turned to the Council. We underestimated them. Entire civilizations could have fallen under that asteroid. And yet humans saved us without conflict. This is beyond our comprehension. Kale nodded. It is beyond most species' imagination. But this is humanity. Clever, quick, and precise. They are not myth. They are reality, and their reality surpasses legend. The humans continued their operations. Even smaller threats debris, rogue satellites, unstable moons, were handled with similar ingenuity. Their actions were coordinated perfectly, demonstrating teamwork that no other species could replicate. Each decision was precise, calculated, and effective. Captain Elias observed from the Resolute. This is how humans survive, not by overpowering others, but by understanding, predicting, and adapting. This is the strength that legends speak of. The Council, meanwhile, began to understand the depth of human skill. Kale spoke again, emphasizing the lesson for all members. Notice how they act. There is no waste, no chaos. Every movement has purpose. Humans are not just powerful, they are intelligent. They think faster, plan better, and act with more precision than any species we know. A young representative, once skeptical, raised her voice. If this is true, if humans can do this, what does it mean for us? Are we ready to face them? Kale's gaze was steady. This is not about fear. It is about respect. Humans do not seek to conquer. They seek to survive, to learn, to solve problems. If we observe them carefully, we can learn as well. But make no mistake, they are a force unlike anything we have encountered. As the asteroid threat ended, the humans retreated slightly, maintaining their distance. They did not linger for praise or recognition. Their message was clear. They acted because it was the right thing to do. It's not because they wanted glory. The Council's debates shifted. No longer were humans dismissed as myth. No longer were they stories of the past. The evidence was undeniable. Humans were alive, capable, and far beyond anything previously imagined. Kale saw an opportunity. We must engage them, he said urgently. Not with weapons, but with communication. If we wait too long, fear may guide others to attack. We must show that we respect them, and perhaps they will share their wisdom. Rilla nodded slowly. It is a risk. Some members of the council may act out of fear, not understanding. But, yes, you are right. Communication is key. In the Outer Rim, the humans continued their observations. They noted every reaction, every movement of the council fleets. They analyzed alien technology, political structures, and decision-making processes. They were careful, patient, and intelligent. Lieutenant Mara spoke softly. "Captain, they are learning quickly. The council is beginning to understand us, but there is still fear. Some may react badly." Elias nodded. "We expected this. Fear is natural, but humans thrive under challenge. We will wait, observe, and guide when necessary. Intelligence and morality will carry us further than weapons ever could." Back on Varela, Kale presented his report to the council. He included every detail of the asteroid rescue, emphasizing humans' methods, not just results. "This is the defining moment," he said. "Humans do not rely on brute force. They rely on creativity, intelligence, and teamwork. If the galaxy is to understand them, this is the example to follow." Council members murmured among themselves. Some were awed, some were frightened. But even the most cautious began to see the truth. Humans were extraordinary. They were not merely survivors, they were innovators, problem solvers, and leaders. Kale continued, his voice filled with passion. "This is the reason humans were once feared even in stories. Their strength is not in weapons or numbers, but in their ability to think, adapt, and cooperate. We are witnessing a species that can surpass even the greatest civilizations in skill and intelligence." Outside, the human ship slowly withdrew from the system, leaving the aliens to digest what had occurred. They had acted decisively, but without arrogance or aggression. Every movement was deliberate. Every action was precise. Kale turned to Rilla. "Do you see it now? This is why humans became legends. They are not myths. They are real. And they are stronger than we imagined." Rilla smiled faintly, awe in her eyes. "I see it. It's incredible, and we were so blind to it." Captain Elias watched as the council continued to discuss. "They are learning," he said quietly. "Observation is working. Knowledge, patience, and morality. This is how humans influence the galaxy. Not with war, but with wisdom and skill." Kale spent the rest of the day compiling reports, analyzing data, and preparing for the next step. The council was no longer skeptical. They wanted to know more. They wanted to understand these beings who had survived against legend and time. As night fell over Varela, Kale gazed at the stars. Somewhere out there, humans sailed silently, observing the galaxy with intelligence and purpose. They had acted when others hesitated, solved problems that would have destroyed civilizations, done so without arrogance or violence. Kale whispered to himself, a mixture of awe and hope in his voice. They are real. They are stronger than stories. And the galaxy is only beginning to understand what humanity truly is. The humans continued their silent journey, watching, learning, and waiting. They had shown their strength, but more importantly, they had shown the truth. Intelligence, cooperation, and ingenuity could surpass fear, power, chaos. The galaxy had witnessed the first test of human skill, and it was only the beginning. The legend of humans was no longer a story. It was becoming a living example of what a species could achieve when courage, intelligence, and unity guided every action. Kale smiled, knowing that the next encounter would reveal even more. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy's perception of legend, power, and possibility would never be the same again. The galaxy had begun to take notice. After the humans' first encounter and their incredible handling of the asteroid crisis, whispers spread across star systems. Many were awed, but fear lingered among the older civilizations. A species that could manipulate matter and act with unmatched intelligence was unpredictable. And unpredictability was dangerous in the galactic balance. The council convened once again, this time under tension. Delegates debated how to deal with humanity. Some argued for alliances, hoping to learn from them. Others insisted on preemptive action, convinced that a species so powerful could eventually threaten the galaxy. Kale watched the discussions. his hands tight on the edge of the podium. "We must not act out of fear," he urged. "Humans are not here to conquer. They show intelligence, morality, and precision. If we challenge them, we risk provoking a species we cannot hope to match in strategy and adaptability." Before any decision could be made, reports arrived from the Outer Rim. A coalition of alien powers, unwilling to accept uncertainty, had dispatched a fleet toward known human sectors. They claimed it was a test to show of strength, but Kale knew better. It was a challenge, and humans would respond, far beyond the reaches of the Council. Human ships detected the approaching fleet. Captain Elias studied the data carefully. "They have chosen to confront us," he said, calm but alert. "This is a test of their intentions and our restraint. We must prepare carefully. Brute force is not our answer." Lieutenant Mara adjusted the fleet's formation. "Captain, they outnumber us significantly. Should we engage or retreat?" Elias shook his head. "Neither. We will respond with strategy and skill. We do not seek conquest, but we will not allow recklessness to endanger ourselves or others." The alien fleet entered the outskirts of human-controlled space. Its ships were larger and more numerous, relying on overwhelming firepower. Yet the humans moved with quiet precision, each ship in perfect coordination with the others. Kale, monitoring the situation from Varela, could barely breathe. "They are outnumbered," he exclaimed, "and yet they are not panicking. Look at their coordination. This is beyond anything the Council has seen before." The first encounter between the fleets began at the edge of a nebula. The humans did not fire first. They observed, analyzed, and anticipated. Alien weapons were powerful but predictable. Humans adapted instantly, using shields, decoys, take, and subtle maneuvers to neutralize attacks without escalation. A battle unfolded like a chess game. For every move the aliens made, humans countered with intelligence rather than brute force. When one ship tried to flank the human formation, it was met with a precise gravitational field that pushed it back, leaving it unharmed but unable to advance. Another wave of attackers approached, only to find the humans had already anticipated their route and created obstacles in space to slow them down. On Varela, Kale was speechless. "They are predicting their every move. It's like they are always one step ahead." Rilla nodded, equally amazed. "This is incredible. They are not fighting. They are solving problems in real time, protecting themselves while avoiding unnecessary damage. This is the humans the legends spoke of." Captain Elias observed the aliens' reactions. Some ships began to retreat in confusion, unable to comprehend the humans' methods. Others tried to regroup, but the humans' coordination left little room for attack. Then came the critical moment. A particularly aggressive alien commander attempted a risky maneuver, trying to force humans into retreat. But a human ship intercepted, using a calculated energy field to disable the alien vessel's engines. No weapons were fired. No lives were lost. The act was deliberate, a demonstration of skill, not destruction. Kale watched, stunned. "They saved the alien ship," he whispered. "This is not just power, this is honor." They could have destroyed it easily, but they chose control and mercy instead. The council debated furiously. Many could not comprehend what they had witnessed. This was not a species driven by aggression or fear. This was a species guided by intelligence, morality, and strategy. In the alien fleet, confusion spread. Pilots were uncertain how to proceed. Every attempt to overpower the humans failed. Their weapons, vast and powerful, were rendered ineffective against shields, tactical maneuvers, and clever misdirection. For the first time, many aliens realized that intelligence and coordination could surpass raw strength. Elias gave quiet orders. "Maintain distance. Continue observation. Show restraint. Our purpose is not to conquer, but to demonstrate the value of thought, teamwork, and morality." Meanwhile, Kale prepared to address the council. "You are witnessing a species unlike any other. They are not just strong. They are intelligent, resourceful, and honorable. If you act with fear, You will only learn the cost of misjudgment. The alien commander, whose ship had been disabled, finally understood. He signaled surrender, acknowledging the human skill and mercy. The rest of the fleet paused, realizing they could not force a victory by aggression. Kale's heart raced. "They are teaching us," he said to Rilla, "not with words, but with actions. Humans are showing that strength is not measured by weapons or numbers, but by intelligence, adaptability, and ethical decision-making." The humans withdrew from the edge of the nebula, signaling the end of the confrontation. They had defended themselves, demonstrated their power, and upheld their values, all without unnecessary destruction. Back at the council, Kale's voice rang out. "Let this be a lesson. Humans are real. They are capable beyond our imagination, and they are a species that values intelligence and morality above aggression. We must respect them, observe them, and learn from them, not fear them blindly." Some delegates nodded, slowly accepting the reality. Others were hesitant, still clinging to old notions of power. But even they could not ignore what they had seen. Humans were extraordinary. Their methods challenged every assumption about survival and strength in the galaxy. Kale turned to Rilla, a mixture of awe and relief in his eyes. "They are teaching the galaxy how to think differently, and we are lucky enough to witness it firsthand." Rilla smiled. "It's more than I ever imagined. The legends were true, and yet reality is even greater." In human space, Captain Elias observed the Council's reaction through distant sensors. "They are learning," he said quietly. "Observation and restraint teach more than force ever could. This is humanity's way skill, patience, and honor." The humans returned to their patrol patterns, maintaining distance from the Council fleets. They had proven their abilities, demonstrated their ethics, and left the galaxy in awe. The challenge had been met not with destruction, but with intelligence and precision. Kale spent the rest of the day compiling his observations. Every maneuver, every decision, every demonstration of human skill was recorded in detail. "This is history," he said. "The galaxy has witnessed what humans can do, and it is only the beginning." Outside, stars twinkled across the void, and human ships moved silently, watching, learning, and waiting. They had faced a deliberate challenge, responded with skill, and demonstrated that intelligence and morality could overcome fear and aggression. Kale whispered to himself. Almost in awe, they are not just a legend. They are the standard by which all species will now be measured. The galaxy is beginning to understand. Humans are something extraordinary. The Council would debate, the fleets would retreat, and fear would slowly turn to respect. But the humans had made their mark not as conquerors, but as examples of ingenuity, honor, and the power of a species united by intelligence and morality. And the galaxy would never forget the day humanity faced a challenge and proved that. Legends were not just stories, they were reality. The galaxy had changed. The arrival of humans had shattered old beliefs, disproved myths, and challenged civilizations to rethink everything they knew. For centuries, humans had been considered a story, a tale, passed down to inspire courage or fear. Now, they were real, and they were extraordinary. Kale returned to the council chamber, his mind racing. The events of the past weeks had left delegates divided, but a new sense of possibility hung in the air. Humans had acted without aggression, demonstrated intelligence and morality, and solved problems the galaxy had believed unsolvable. "This is not a threat," Kale said, addressing the assembly. "Humans are not here to conquer. They are here to observe, to help when necessary, and to teach us what intelligence, cooperation, and courage can achieve. We have witnessed their skill. We have seen their honor. And now we must choose our path carefully." Some delegates nodded, eager to approach humans with curiosity and respect. Others remained cautious, still clinging to fear of the unknown. Kale knew that the next steps would determine the galaxy's future relationship with this remarkable species. Meanwhile, human ships had moved closer to the Virulon system, though they remained cautious. Captain Elias studied the Council's response carefully. They are learning, he said quietly to Lieutenant Mara. Some are curious. Some are fearful. But most will understand eventually. Observation and patience will guide them. Mara looked at the displays. They're still debating. Some may act rashly, Elias nodded. Then we wait. Humans are not defined by force, but by intelligence and integrity. That will speak louder than any weapon. The first official communication arrived soon after. The humans projected a holographic message that reached the council chamber. It showed their ships in formation, solving complex challenges together and assisting other species in distant systems. The display included universal symbols for peace, cooperation, and knowledge. Kale's eyes widened. They are showing us who they are, not through words, but through action. This is humanity in its essence, intelligent, moral, and united.
Ow.
The council watched in awe. Delegates whispered to each other, discussing the implications. Some expressed admiration, others fear, but all realized that humans were now a reality the galaxy could not ignore. A representative from the Zolar sector finally spoke. We have underestimated them for centuries. Humans are real, and they are beyond what any of us imagined. We must approach this carefully and respectfully. Kale nodded. Exactly. This is our opportunity. We can learn from them, build alliances, and understand a species unlike any other. But we must not act out of fear or arrogance. We must respect their wisdom. In human space, Captain Elias watched the council's deliberations through distant sensors. They are beginning to understand, he said quietly. Observation, patience, and action guided by morality, this is how humans shape understanding. The galaxy will respect them when it sees their true nature. Kale proposed an unprecedented idea to the council, a delegation to meet humans in neutral space, to build trust and begin communication. After a long debate, the council agreed. The meeting would be carefully monitored, and every precaution would be taken. But it marked the first official step toward interstellar diplomacy with humanity. The humans received the message and prepared to welcome the delegation. Unlike other species, humans did not rely on grandeur or intimidation. Their ships were sleek but modest, their approach calm and deliberate. They valued clarity, honesty, and understanding over displays of power. When the council delegation arrived at the neutral meeting point, they found humans already waiting. Captain Elias greeted them with a calm but commanding presence. There was no threat in his demeanor. It's only intelligence and a clear sense of purpose. Kale stepped forward, representing the council. On behalf of the council, I welcome you, he said. We have seen your skill, your courage, and your morality. We understand that humans are more than stories. They are real, and they are extraordinary. Elias inclined his head slightly. We have observed the galaxy quietly for centuries. We act when necessary, but we do not seek conflict. We hope to share knowledge, to assist, and to foster understanding. The council delegates were impressed. Not only did humans display intelligence and skill, but their ethics were evident in every action. They did not boast. They did not demand submission. They offered respect, understanding, and guidance. Kale felt a thrill of hope. This is the beginning of something greater, he said. Humans have arrived, and the galaxy has a chance to learn from them. Over the following weeks, humans worked with the council and various civilizations. They shared strategies for problem-solving, methods for cooperation, and approaches to surviving and thriving in a galaxy filled with challenges. Every lesson emphasized intelligence, morality, creativity over brute force. Kale observed humans interacting with other species. They listened carefully, asked questions, and offered solutions only when requested. Every interaction demonstrated patience, respect, and skill. Even species that had feared humans began to admire them. Captain Elias reflected on these interactions. We are not here to dominate. We are here to show what a species can achieve through intelligence, cooperation, and morality. That is the strength of humanity. That is why we survived and why legends spoke of us. As news spread, more species reached out to humans, requesting alliances, guidance, and observation. Some were cautious, some were eager, but all respected humans' abilities and ethics. The galaxy slowly began to accept that humans were not myths, not threats, but a standard of ingenuity and honor. Kale worked tirelessly to document everything. Every maneuver, every interaction, every lesson humans shared was recorded for posterity. He understood that history was being written before his eyes, the story of a species once thought to be legend, now living proof of what intelligence, morality, and cooperation could achieve. Finally, the council convened to acknowledge humans officially. Kale spoke to the assembly. Humans are no longer a story. They are real. They have demonstrated skill, courage, morality, and intelligence that surpass legend. We have a choice to fear them or to learn from them. I suggest we choose knowledge and cooperation, the council voted. For the first time in centuries, humans were officially recognized as an active species, their existence undeniable, their abilities respected, and their ethics admired. Kale stepped outside the chamber, looking at the stars. Somewhere beyond the known space, human ships sailed silently, observing, learning, and waiting for the right moments to act. They did not need to dominate. They did not seek glory. They had shown their strength simply by existing. By acting with intelligence and honor, Ril adjoined him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. They are more than stories. They are reality. And we have witnessed it. Kale smiled. Yes, and the galaxy has learned a lesson it will not forget. Humans have arrived, and the stories were only the beginning. The reality is far greater than any myth. In human space, Captain Elias prepared his fleet for the next journey. He knew that the galaxy had changed because of humanity's actions. They had shown that intelligence, patience, and morality were the greatest weapons of all. Mara looked out at the stars. Do you think they understand now? She asked. Elias nodded. They understand that humans are real and that they must be respected. That is all that matters. We do not conquer. We guide. We observe. We survive, and in doing so, we inspire others to think differently. Kale continued his work with the council, bridging the gap between humans and other civilizations. He became the liaison, helping to establish trust, learning, and collaboration. The galaxy slowly began to see humanity not as a myth, but as a species to respect, understand, and learn from. Humans, quiet yet powerful, had changed the course of history. They had arrived not with fire and destruction, but with skill, intelligence, and honor. The galaxy would never see the stars the same way again. Kale whispered to himself as he gazed at the distant human fleet. The legends were true, but the reality is greater. Humans are more than stories. They are living proof that courage, intelligence, and morality can shape the galaxy. And as the stars shimmered in the endless void, human ships sailed onward silent, patient, clever, and unstoppable. The galaxy had witnessed the impossible. The humans were real. The legends had become reality. The age of humans in the galaxy had begun.